Hey, it is 9:30. Time for the Friday Night Hangout. This is where we grab a brew, shoot the breeze, and interact with you live on the internet. Another great panel for tonight with you with a whole bunch of good stories here and a whole bunch of good beer and other beverages. We'll do the round of intros here as we get settled in, and then we'll do our usual bit of housekeeping here. Let's start off from my right here. From Dartmouth, we got Lori with us tonight.
Hello, everybody.
Moving on to Cape Breton, we got Carrie with us.
Hello there.
And we got from Wallace, we got Keith Elliott, KeithElliottStone.com. And over at Dan, are you on Dartmouth side or Halifax side?
I'm sorry to say it, but yes, I am on the Dartmouth side.
All right, on the Dartmouth side, joining forces with Lori, we got Dan with us tonight. New panelists tonight, so we'll try to be gentle with Dan tonight. So make sure the commenters also take it easy on you tonight for the first time. That's okay.
Yep.
And
I've downed about 6 Red Bulls, so I'm
ready to rock.
good to go. This is Red Bull talk, right? Because I'm ready. I got all my Red Bull facts down pat. I studied hard on that.
Excellent. And I am on the Bedford side of things, and we are doing this every Friday night. Just to let you know, if you're watching live, you can scrub through that DVR. We'll have the instant replay about 10-15 minutes once we're done, and you have the audio-only podcast version of this. We have a number of people jumping in. And you can comment via YouTube, Twitter, Google+, and on avoidingchores.com. Me and the boys are monitoring the various outlets, so you can comment, and we will get to your comments shortly. So let's start off the way that we normally start out, which is what we are drinking tonight. We'll start off with Dan. What are you drinking tonight, my friend?
Well, I'm double fisting it this time, but to begin with our little adventure, we're going with the Pure Luxury, established 1831, Young's Double Chocolate Stout. I like the hearty beers, and this just tickles my fancy, so I decided to go with that one for my first showing up for the podcast.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. I like that one, too. Keith, what are you drinking tonight?
I dig out the old fog burner.
Yeah, boy.
Not fooling around tonight.
No, is it the barrel age or the regular one?
It's just the regular.
Yeah. 11.5%. It's a D.
Ow.
Love it. Keith ain't playing tonight. Carrie, what are you drinking tonight?
I got the Hell Bay.
Yes.
English ale.
Yes.
Because I like it.
Yes.
That's a good one.
I was very tempted. I did see their honey wheat today. I almost grabbed it, but I didn't. I was looking for something else. But it is a very good beer. Lori, what are you drinking tonight?
Well, I'm drinking Peak Organic Citrus Saison, left over from the summer, but it's time to refresh my stash, so I figure I have to drink the old to bring in the new.
Yes. Love it. Nice. Good stuff.
I do have a question, though. If I was actually to show up in the show and say, oh, yes, I'm starting off this delightful beverage I've heard of, Mike's Hard Lemonade, would I be ostracized?
I believe the eject button would activate.
I would find you in Dartmouth, come over and kick your ass.
See, and that's what I'm talking about, being on the Dartmouth side. They're just so angry over here.
All right, I'm drinking the newly released Garrison Winter Warmer, 7% ale, available in 6-pack only if you're in Nova Scotia, and you get the big bottles if you're in New Brunswick for whatever reason. Let this warm up. You've got to let this warm up to let all the the demerara and all the fancy sugars come out and actually bring it to that festive side of things. All right, so before we get started with the first topic, actually, you know what? Let's get started with the first topic because this was the big topic of the week. This is this time of year where most of the people in cars, in buses, who drive the buses, lose their friggin' minds. We had a 2-minute snow squall, and that resulted into major chaos around the city. People didn't get to work until 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning. I got to work a half hour late. Guys, did you get to work on time during the snow squall?
I am typically out the door by 6:30 in the morning, so I felt zero effects. Also, I drive in the opposite direction of traffic, so I don't get to see much of the stupids, but being out there afterwards just to get a coffee, yeah, I could see a lot of the stupids out in the road.
Keith, what about you? Did you just stay in the house, or did you get anything, or was it clear skies?
Didn't get anything up here.
Oh. You're lucky. It was pandemonium. Carrie
Didn't interfere with my 4-minute commute to work.
Carrie, did you get any snow squalls, or?
This evening we did. On the way home, we had a little bit of snow, and then it further multiplied into about 5 centimeters. And I was home, but my wife was on her way back from Cape North, and she had a little bit of snow on the way. But it's where are we? We live in Canada, and it's winter.
Well, that's the point, and I think that's the point that Lori wants to tell people that it is winter.
Winter-ish.
So I take the ferry because I work in downtown Halifax. So for me, I drive to Woodside, got the ferry, so I really wasn't impacted. I will say, though, walking from the ferry terminal up to up where I work, up by Grand Parade, it was really kind of slippery for pedestrians and the crosswalks. There was a lot of black ice. The problem, and you had to expect that. And I don't think people are like, oh my God, I have to put winter tires on, and oh my God, I have to leave space between me and the person in front of me. And you know what? Oh my God, I might have to reduce my speed by 5 kilometers an hour. And those three things combined together blows their minds.
We had over 20 fender benders.
Yeah.
There were, especially around the merges. Now, the way that it hit the snow squall, it just created it was nice, big, fluffy snow, but it was just enough of it that made this nice little layer of black ice.
Yeah.
And people just did not have their winter tires, and it was damn slippery. It was a skating rink for certain areas, and yeah, people were just losing their minds. I was able to get to work, as I said, half hour late, turn up the Twitter, and I was looking, putting up the iPhone. I take a look at the missus on Find Friends, see where she's at. She's still on the on-ramp from the house. And I'm like, why are you still there after a half hour? And it was just, she was describing people who were, this is the first time I heard this, and this was corroborated by other people. There were a number of drivers who just simply pulled off the road and just sat there, read the paper, read a book, did their makeup, didn't even bother inching forward. They just pulled off the road and just waited it out, which I think is probably the best strategy for Halifax.
It's a good idea because there could have been 40 fender benders. But my question is, are people losing their nerve when it comes to driving in winter weather? Or is it that there just is a higher volume of vehicles on the road, or have traffic patterns changed? every year it's the first fall. The first fall of snow seems to be more chaotic than the year before. And it's like everybody's surprised, but it seems to get exponentially worse every year.
I don't know if it's complacency or not. I think a lot of it is the fact that people are just mindless drivers. Most people are in automatic mode, and when something changes it and it has to actually engage the brain, it immediately puts them into a fear sort of situation where they just start driving as such, not thinking rationally about what they need to do. All those things you learn coming out of driving school. The basics, like you said, it's not necessarily about the speed you're driving, it's about the space between you and the driver ahead of you. And just people don't think about that, and we get into the situation that we're in. Also, I'm going to wear my comic book guy hat for a second. They're going, excuse me, I believe that the first day of winter is in December 21st, so technically it is still fall. Thank you very much. And that's all I have to say about that.
And it is, because it's like 14 degrees tomorrow or whatever, but I think what happens is that people expect the roads to be salted, brined, whatever, 24/7, but there are, we had, 50, 60 millimeters of rain the previous few days. You're not going to put salt on there and then 12 hours you're going to have freezing conditions and having these squalls, right? It ain't going to happen, right? By the time you mobilize, they're in traffic with you. So for this particular one, I'm not blaming salt trucks or whatever to be out, because they didn't have a chance. Like I say, it was literally like a 2-minute snowfall or squall created a chaos. So crazy. All right, let's move on to the next topic, which is, before we get to that, let's give a quick shout out to some of our supporters and friends, and also we have a contest giveaway, folks. That's right. Let's start off with our friends here, INREACH Canada. Check out their holiday promo on their Facebook page when activating a new INREACH device. And the INREACH device, which is beyond arm's reach, which is the two-way satellite communicator that you can use to send two-way emails, texts, one-way Twitter, Facebook posts when you're in the backcountry. Much like what I do when I go out on a hike, you can take advantage of their holiday promo. The Trail Shop here in Halifax, they're open on Sundays until Christmas, so definitely check out what they have. They're getting new stuff in every day, including a number of kayaks. So doesn't matter, it's winter, they got kayaks. Also, our friends up in New Brunswick, PICAROONS, they are now a certified B Corporation. They're joining Beau's in the Ottawa region as the only brewery in Canada to have this certification. And this is B Corporation means that you're more transparent, more responsible environment, yada yada yada. You can go and read up all the stuff they need to do to get that. And the Ladies Beer League, they're working on new events for 2015. So says their Facebook post or Twitter post. I saw that on. All right, to the contest. We do have a contest. The folks at KeySmart, which is this product right here. They have one to give away, not the keys. No, it's the orange stuff here. This is a key organizer for those who haven't seen the video that I posted on Sunday. Do you want to get rid of your key jingle jangle? You want to slip in your keys in a pocket, but you want to keep it nice and slim? KeySmart is what you need, folks. This is a key stacker organizer. All you need to do is put in your keys and extract the key, or deploy the key, and fits in nicely with your keychain here. This is the standard set that we're giving away. It will fit 3 keys plus the key loop, or 4 keys without the key loop. You can get the extender kits. You can get up to 100 keys, but for the giveaway, we're giving out the standard model. You can pick the color you want. There's like 6-7 colors of aluminum that you can get. And all you need to do is, if you go to the show page on avoidingchores.com, I'll probably tweet it during the show here. There's the contest giveaway page. All you need to do is enter the email at the bottom of that show page, and we will pick a random winner from that, and KeySmart will send the item to you. So pretty cool. It's about, if you're in Canada, it's about $27 value. It's a great item. I do recommend it for anybody who has a few keys. Get rid of the jingle jangle, folks. KeySmart.
Do they have a bottle opener attachment for that as well? Because that would be perfect.
They do, actually, and it's not included with the contest there, but you can get the instead of the key loop, you can get the key loop with bottle opener. They also have a USB drive attachment you can put in there, and there was something else that they added, which I can't remember here because I've been drinking winter warmer. But yeah, they do have the bottle opener. So yes to all those answers. So go to the page. If you're on the show page on the voting choice, you'll be able to enter that contest. All right, let's move on to the next topic, which is, this is a doozy. I love this. All right, Gloria McCluskey, a city councillor on the Dartmouth side, brought up. I think she brought this up. City council. Anyway, she wants to license cyclists because cyclists don't follow the rules. They are a nuisance to the road. They need to be licensed so that we can give them fines, just like drivers. And of course, the cycling groups are saying no, none of that. Nay.
Cash grab.
I can kind of see there's some cyclists that, they're just all over the place, but do we really need this extra, as Dan said, do we need this extra layer, extra cash grab? I don't think so. Laura, you're on the
going to change?
Yeah, it's not going to change nothing.
Isn't there already rules just for public endangerment as being an actual law that this would follow on if there's any sort of bad behavior that endangers the public? I mean, at this point, you have to look at this as being they're going to do a cash grab because you actually have to pay for your license and probably some sort of renewal and testing and whatnot. And then also the actual cost involved of administering this, like what you're going to have to stand up administratively to actually hand out licenses, the cost of actually setting up the whole infrastructure. I mean, aren't there bigger things to worry about?
Exactly. I don't know why we need to worry about, and especially now that we're building all these roundabouts around the city and such, right?
Yeah, won't someone think of the children? For once, just think of the children.
Jim.
What?
Listen to this. Then I got a comment on this one.
Okay.
Oh, crap. That was good.
That was Karma beer.
Yes, it's all over my lap. Anyway, cyclists are still motor vehicles as in the Motor Vehicle Act, so they can be fined for reckless driving or whatever. And years ago, there used to be cities and townships and municipalities all over the place used to issue licenses to drivers, bicycles, right? So whether or not they do it, or if they do it, that's fine. But they did it for a reason, to make sure that bicycles were safe on the roads.
I struggle with this a lot myself. I'm not a good cyclist. I would be that person who would cause a 55-car pileup because I have driven 3 times since 1985. But I wonder if it's a combination of there are cyclists with really bad habits, and is that small group within a larger group of cyclists, the ones that are getting all the attention. So for every poor cyclist, are there 10 cyclists who abide by the rules and aren't a menace to the roads. And so then the flip side of that is, if we start licensing cyclists, do you expand that and you license skateboarders? Do you license the folks who use an electric bike? Because right now I don't think that they need to have a license to have an electric bike. And and does the idea of licensing or putting a licensing requirement on cyclists, could that be a deterrent? So are we trying to encourage active transportation by cycling and walking and things that all of that nature, and then turning around and could be construed as penalizing them for trying to participate in active transportation? And is this much about a couple of piss poor cyclists, really, as far as etiquette and good behavior while cycling on the road? That's the dilemma that I feel we're presented with. Is this much ado about a small proportion of the cycling population? And what does licensing do? What are we saying? Do they have to do a test? Do they have to carry insurance? Like, what does it mean, right? To have a license, you can have a license for anything, right? But what is the criteria to mean that you are able to gain this license, and who oversees it, and and does it need to be renewed? Like, it's a whole can of worms. I don't know.
And I'm sure the police will just love to have to add that to their list of other things that they need to do, as well as to pull over random cyclists to do license checks.
Yeah, I don't know. And it, no.
Well, it's the same thing as a suggestion, like putting a new police unit at every crosswalk to make sure that nobody gets run over at the crosswalks. And it's like, where do you stop? Where do you stop with all this monitoring, right?
And some of it has to be people's personal responsibility. I mean, I'm a huge advocate for policing. I mean, they do a lot of really wonderful and significant things in the community, but we can't have police acting as crosswalk guards, and we can't have crosswalk guards on every street corner, every marked crosswalk and unmarked crosswalk in this city. It is not sustainable. There isn't the money to pay for any of that. So, there has to be some type of alternate way, and people have to start taking ownership of their own personal safety. And again, it comes back to, and I feel like a broken record, is you've got to pay attention to what the hell you're doing. And I don't care if you're driving a car, you're driving a bike, you're walking, you're skateboarding, rollerblading, walking your dog, pushing a stroller, whatever the hell it is you're doing, you need to pay attention to your surroundings, and you need to pay attention to what other people are doing in your proximity. It's as simple as that.
And going back to the first conversation of, yes, there are bad cyclists, but how much of it goes back to complacent drivers, not paying attention to the cyclists on the road? And that's just compounding the issues. What are the stats of saying what sort of demographics are causing this sort of issue? If it's school-age children, then maybe it's more education in the schools, like having a couple day courses dealing with bicycle safety, just to get it on that level. If it's like 45-year-olds that have a tendency of having a drinking problem, well, I mean, having a license isn't going to solve that either. So it comes down to just how they want to target this.
And I think there is a certain, I hate to say it, but I will, antagonistic attitude with some drivers and cyclists, and some cyclists and drivers. And these are micro snapshots of a bigger population, and when you get antagonistic against antagonistic, well, then you get a situation that mushrooms into something much larger than what it is, right? And I don't know if we're talking a substantive number of people who are worried, or if it's just a small number of people who are raising a really big row about it. I don't know.
All right, I think we beat this one pretty good.
Yes, we have.
Yeah, pretty good. So we did a very good job. We'll do a quick check on comments because we haven't checked on that in a while. So just want to remind everybody who are watching, you can leave a comment with us. And yes, my video is not showing up for some reason. My video is not streaming through, but which is weird. But hopefully that will show up during the hangout. But hey, if you're listening to the podcast version, doesn't matter. Don't see nothing. We'll give, let's see, Keith, you're on avoidingchores.com. Is there any comments there, my friend?
No comments.
No comments. Bluefin must be busy on the rig tonight. I do have a comment on Twitter. Michelle McCann says, has anyone tried the new Hell-Baked chocolate? Hoping the Nook and Cranny will have it. And she made sure that she did a PS. It's McCann, not McCon, and I may have pronounced her name McCon before previously, so it's McCann. Michelle, up in Truro way. Carrie, what do we have on the YouTube page?
On the YouTube, we have a little while ago, some guy named Jim Sear said we are live.
Oh, okay.
A plus.
Good
Dan Lacora says, sorry guys, but it's not even winter yet. The worst is to come. Well, yeah, technically we're not, as someone mentioned earlier, we're not in winter yet.
Yeah, and Dan is from the Montreal region, so you know he'll.
And they know winter, so.
Exactly. So.
Yeah. Slow River says, hey guys, he started with a Muskoka Mad Tom IPA. They've had about 5 centimeters of snow in Toronto, and people lost their mind there too. I guess they figured winter was canceled this year, but the situation in Buffalo is crazy.
Oh yeah.
Makes White One look like a light dusting.
Oh yeah.
A couple more. Mustang 774 says, hey gang, he's at work tonight. He's just having a nice cup of Tetley tea. He couldn't sign into Avoiding Chores tonight. But live for everybody, not sure why.
Okay.
And he also, Slow River says, what's up with no camera for Jim?
Yeah, no, just having an issue here. Not in the Hangout control room, I can see everybody's video, but yet if you're watching on YouTube and on the Avoiding Chores page, you get my avatar. So I don't know what.
I think.
Yeah.
I think the V-chip's working. I think the new V-chip on the Avoiding Chores is working. It's Jim isn't wearing pants, so.
I think the term you're looking for, you've been Google hung out.
Oh.
I am wearing some spandex materials because I was out running before the hangout here, so maybe it has detected the spandex.
A spandex filter? Like a pop filter.
Hopefully, whenever I get enough bandwidth from Bell Fiber Op, I can get video here. Let's see. Any other comments, Carrie?
2 more. Dan says he's not sure for you guys, but he's okay. Something about cyclists, but you can get a fine if you do something illegal as a driver, cyclist, pedestrian, or pogo stick jumper.
Do those still exist?
Yeah, you can gain all those evil points on your license if you commit an infraction on your bike. Yes, you can. That's true. You can. If you're drunk driving on a bicycle, you are, and you do have an infraction. Slow River says he's not going to weigh in on the bike issue too much because he'll end up writing a full page about ranting.
Yeah. Now, Neil. Yeah. Oh, any other comments, Carrie?
He also says, but he will say that Dan, despite his terrible lack of Dartmouth pride, was spot on. And he will say He also says he will say that if you do licensed bikes, maybe maybe I didn't see them no longer be an acceptable excuse for killing cyclists and receiving a ticket. Any cyclists, motorists need to figure out that the more they encourage cycling, the less traffic they'll have to deal with. Well, yeah, which is true.
You know, Neil said he wasn't going to write a whole page, but I think he wrote a whole page. Neil, who's in the Toronto area there, he is. I see a lot of pictures of his bike on Instagram there, so he's definitely taking advantage of the biking situation down there. So, and we can get into the whole, accessibility for bikers and the fact that you probably have better infrastructure for him for biking than we are up here. So. Anyway, moving on to the next topic here, which is this is a good one here. I like this one. Mm-hmm. Underwear with pockets, guys. We've been wanting this.
About time. About time. How many times have I been walking around the house, doing chores, cleaning up, wanting to listen to some music off my iPad or off my iPhone or whatever, and having to shove the phone between the waistband and my skin, so it doesn't slide, and then of course it slides down, and then you have to wash it afterwards. You've got the pockets. Everything's copacetic now.
I don't know how you guys operate. I just don't understand.
All right, so
I think it should be complex.
I think it should be extended. I think for women that there should be a pocket right there as well, right between. So that way you don't have to stuff stuff down there. You can just stuff the phone. Equal opportunity.
All right, so a Quimpansis man from the suburbs of St. John, 21 years old, designed a pair of boxer underwear with 2 front pockets on either side and the little button access for the little pocket quick access thing for the boys. Boxer shorts, and he says he sold around $10,000 worth of sales here. It's in the States. It's from in 10 stores in New Brunswick, in Manitoba, and Mississippi. And he has a couple new styles coming out next year. It sells for $23.99, and yeah, I mean, I look at the picture of this. It's called the Danielle. I don't know. Honestly, I've never really, unlike Dan, I don't want to stuff anything more in my underwear than any devices and stuff, only because, and I'll tell this story. So I'm feeding the little one, right? 15 months old. I'm feeding her yogurt or whatever, and she has these what do you call it there, with the suspenders and the one piece there. I don't know. But she has the suspenders that she has this little pocket here. So there was a little bit of yogurt that fell down. Being the dad, I just scooped in my finger and wanted to eat the yogurt. But then when I scooped it in, a whole bunch of crumbs and stuff. I don't know what I was putting into my mouth. So I'd be a little afraid what kind of junk gets in those side pockets for those boxers.
My question is, does it hold the iPhone 6 Plus? Because right there, that is the delineating factor. It has to be able to hold a phablet, or else they're junk. Junk.
Well, I see this as the slippery slope to now men will start wearing only these when they go to Walmart. Right? First it was the pajama pants, and now it's going to be the underwear with pockets.
Oh.
Jesus, like the thought of this fills me with such dread I can barely speak.
And can we have the underwear, and then you wear that underwear over the underwear, so that way you can have the low-riding underwear over the underwear?
And they're all pulled down, so you can see the crack of your arse. That'd be fabulous.
Oh, we'll call them plumbers. Plumbers underwear. Les plumbers.
Danielle's plumbers.
How classy can you make it, really?
Underwear only needs one pocket, and it's got to have a hole in it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do they have a bum flap as well? Like, old timey type, with
Go
Velcro?
vintage.
Nice Velcro so like that, and then you can do your business, pad up.
How do you get pockets on a thong?
oh.
Wow.
It's called a budgie smuggler, by the way, a budgie smuggler.
All right.
Budgie.
So it looks like we won't be getting these for the Christmas tree from our sample here. So, but you can check out the link and put down in the comments what you guys think about that if people are watching here. Let's move on to the next topic here, because we're getting close to, well, we're past half time here, but let's move on to the next one here, which is really good. Should get everybody all up in arms here. There was an income tax review report published this week, and basically, we should get taxed more. And yeah, go ahead.
The person that wrote this supposedly made these recommendations, drives like a $150,000 car, and knows all about poor people.
Well, the person who wrote the report was paid $100,000. She used to be a Liberal cabinet MMA in Ontario. She decided to pack up her and her kids to come to Halifax. Her husband works for Nova Scotia Power, or Emera, and she got that little gig. And apparently, she interviewed for the CEO position of Nova Scotia Business Inc. And if you've been following locally, that's a plum job to get. You just give money to businesses, and you just give. So
I'd like to write a report as well that says every person should have a unicorn. I don't need $100,000. I'll do it for $1,000. Every person, man, woman, and child, should have their own unicorn, and I'll even make it nice. I'll make the report real nice too.
This was a great report here. This was like basically, all right, put HST back on diapers, books, whatever the NDP rolled back, which honestly I have not even noticed that HST is not on these items. The fact that they might be back on really sucks. They talked about carbon tax. They talk about giving rich people more of a break, and all this stuff. Trickle-down economics from the Reagan era. This is from somebody. Yeah, this is somebody from Ontario who was in the Liberal government in Ontario who went from a have to have-not province, and I think Neil Slow Rover can tell us that Ontario is not doing that great.
Were they a real Liberal in Ontario, or were they following like Mike Harris's doctrine? They just didn't realize it.
It is it's funny. It used to be whatever's good for Ontario was good for Canada. That was the saying, right? Nowadays, like Ontario is a have-not. Quebec's not a have-not. Alberta and Newfoundland is the have provinces. Saskatchewan's getting there.
Cats and dogs living together. Mass hysteria.
It's, but you know what? But this theory of just taxing everything, giving us more, costing everything more, I'm not down with that. And I'm not an NDP supporter or anything like that, but you know what? I'm done with the taxes. Like,
She lost me when she said there was tax cuts again for the rich, because we all know it's not called trickle down economics. It's called failed trickle down economics, because there's no sign of any success out of that system.
Lori, what do you think?
I'm almost incoherent with rage. So, and I understand as a fairly rational adult that every service that we get from the government costs, and the government, by and large, every bit of income that they get comes from a tax of some type, or some type of revenue, which is ultimately a tax, just with a different lipstick. But the fact that the things that she's suggesting disadvantage lower income people, families, middle-income people who are already carrying the lion's share of the tax burden makes me just want to check out of taxation. Like, it just, like, I don't understand. She must be well educated. She must be rational in some respects. She's got to know something. And does she think that adding burdens to families, you know, middle income folks and lower income folks is going to be the panacea that's going to sail us out of the shit show that we're in? Well, she needs to shake her fucking head.
Well, you know what I like to call it, Lori? F
What?
you, I got mine. Basically.
Yeah.
It's that whole mentality.
You know, and if she gets the CEO position of Nova Scotia NSBI, it's just the, you know what, the regular folks, which is this hangout, don't matter. There's a certain echelon of people. Once you reach a certain echelon in the political sphere, smooth sailing. Nothing happens to you. You can move on from job to job to job. Nothing happens, and you can just dictate policies. Like, we have an older population in Nova Scotia. They're going to die. All the young people are moving out. You're going to have a...
You're bumming me out.
Hang on. I'm not done yet. All the young people is moving out. Income tax going down. What do? Raise income tax. You know, HST, carbon tax.
I have no problem. I mean, I have a very good job. I have a good wage. I live a very comfortable life. You know, I've worked hard for it. I won't deny it. And I am absolutely and completely willing to take my share of tax and the obligation that I have to live in this province and contribute to its well-being. But it has to be reasonable.
Yep.
You know, it's all about being reasonable. And I just feel that there was, there's very little in her report that was reasonable, right? I just, and so I look at it and I go, what value did that $100,000 buy the taxpayer? All you've done is polarized the population from the have-nots, the kind of haves, and the haves, and just kind of said, you know what, we're screwing you over even more.
No, it's a big slap in the face for sure. I mean, to people that, you know, are watching their pennies, and to even the small businesses, if you really look at it, they say they're doing business as favors. You look at it, they are not.
No.
Not small business anyway.
No.
All right, now that we're all angry, let's do what we're drinking tonight. We'll start with Dan. Dan, what are you drinking tonight?
This hellish talk has made me switch to the Hell Bay now.
Now, are you a fan of the Hell Bay? Have you tried the honey?
This is the second time I've had, like, I bought one of these, I don't want to say by mistake, but unexpectedly last week, and I was like, hot damn, because it hits me right where I like it. I'm a huge fan of the English ales, especially black and tans. I love me a black and tan, and this one just, you know, fit the bill real well on it, and I was happy to buy it again.
Excellent. Michelle McCann was saying earlier, you know, has anybody tried the chocolate? But the chocolate, which is a wheat ale, that should be in a few places plus the brewery, and I think we'll probably get some reports on that a little bit later. But Hell Bay, you know, they were, you know, initially when they came out, they were like the English ale, but now they're starting to branch out a little bit. They're trying to branch out with some interesting flavors. So hopefully we can get some reports on how the chocolate is. Keith, what are you drinking tonight?
That old fog burner, things are getting a little foggier. The lips are getting a little number. I don't know.
Is the size of the jaw starting to feel kind of numb?
I like this. This is like something you drink before you go to bed.
Oh man, I love the fog burner. I love the barrel aged fog burner.
Oh.
This is a nice sipping. Yeah, I like this. This is.
Yeah.
Dude.
Oh, Tim,
Uh,
did you notice
what?
my glass matches my shirt?
Oh, look at that! Bring that glass closer to the camera there, since you have video here and I don't.
I don't know if you can see it or not. We get the
Bring it back a little bit.
back.
A little bit back.
There we go.
Oh, there you go, like
What-
that.
which
Hold
one's
it,
that?
hold
There we
it,
go.
hold it, hold it. Right there.
Hold it.
There you go. Look at that nice little bear right there.
Matches my shirt.
Where the hell do you get that?
I'm all coordinated and shit.
Yeah, you gotta ask nicely. Well, Keith has been working, develop a sketch there, an etch or a pattern for the Voting Tours logo on some beer glasses. So he's been hand etching these, and they're looking good. I got one glass myself. I've been using, so
More coming this winter.
yeah. So I don't know what kind of demand we would have for that.
I think it's cute.
No. You know,
It's on my throat.
now that's the front of the glass. There is this. There is a quote on the other side, which is
V-chip.
V-chip side. But you know, if people are keen for that, put it down in the comments on the YouTube page or the Voting Tours page, Twitter, whatever. Need some feedback.
Can I just tell you now? I'd like to have one of those glasses with the swearing.
With the swearing.
Yeah, oh yeah, with the swearing.
Oh, I can do that.
Thank you.
Do we get to choose the swearing? Is it
You can't offend me.
there's like
So
4 different
go.
glasses. This is, you know.
Yeah, you get different swearing. However, the style of the glass, I'll be interesting to know. Keith, would it be interesting to know the style of glass? Like, have you tried on different style of glasses etching these things, or?
Yep, I've tried on 2 or 3 different styles. Basically, whatever I can get my hands on, but whatever the demand's for, too, you know.
Yeah. So I know a lot of people do like the you know, these tulip kind of glasses here, which kind of fits a lot of it. You have a different. Well, you have the more tulip style there for that one there. It kind of.
Yeah.
That's more there, or the pint, or you know, there's so. If you're putting anything in the comments, put down like style preferences and stuff like that, so we get an idea. So we do want to. So Keith does hand etch these things, so it's not a machine, not in India or China. He's doing it with his hands. Cold hands, and up in Wallace, Nova Scotia, with 2 feet of snow and.
I might have to get a pair of those pocket underwear to start doing it, I think.
Instead of a beer hat, have beer undies.
Carrie, what are you drinking tonight?
I'm drinking a, you got it right there. Bottle number 3378 out of 4,000 for this one.
Man, Carrie's drinking a $14 bottle of beer from Pump House.
I drank mine earlier tonight.
It's good, except that it was a little bit warm when I opened it, and it sort of had a beer explosion. But anyway, it's a tasty beer. I was going to say something, but I can't remember it right now.
So that is the Pump House Stonefire Ale. That is where they actually they heated up rocks to 750 degrees Celsius. They actually put it in the boil instead of heating the pot. They actually put the rocks inside of it. I found that it tasted better as it got warmed up, Carrie. Now, my big thing is it was $14. Is it worth $14?
Well, I'll tell you what. For having that little wee number on the bottom right there, it's like an art thing, you know? Like, that's all.
Like it's a print.
4,000?
Yeah.
That's all. I should have left it corked and not drank it. But
Yeah, I can see that too, and I was thinking the same thing when I picked mine up. I said, should I get the other one? And of course
Yeah.
now, because
Yeah.
now
Too.
it's gone, right? You know, the supply is gone, so I don't know. I liked it, and I did a live review.
Well, I'll tell you what. Nobody else in Cape Breton is going to buy a $14 bottle of beer. So I probably have a couple more around.
So if you go to the NSLC site, whatever supplies in Cape Breton, Carrie's going to handle that for you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, Lori, what are you drinking tonight?
So I finished my Peak Organic, and I've moved on to the Allagash Saison, which is
Ooh.
out of Portland, Maine, and it's 6.1%.
Mm.
I have to tell you, I have not had an Allagash anything yet that I haven't enjoyed.
Man, Allagash.
Allagash White is good
Oh,
too.
Heath, we enjoyed our Allagash while we're doing our outings in Katad in there.
I enjoy the was it the Dubel, Tripel, and the Allagash Black. Like the Allagash Black for me is just outstanding. But I have to say, this Saison, very, very good.
I would love to get my hands on that. I was supposed to be in the state of Maine during the Remembrance Day or Veterans Day weekend. Didn't quite work out. Couldn't get time to cross the border. But Allagash is definitely what I would like to get my hands on.
I feel the last three. Well, this is the third, hangout that I've been to, and I think I've drank Maine beer almost every time. Like I'm the main rep for the Friday night hangout. But just to take a second, last year was actually at Remembrance Day time was the first time I'd ever driven to Maine, and I had no idea that the craft beer was so prevalent and so good in Maine. And New Hampshire too, but particularly in Maine. So when I went back again this summer, I came back with a, carload of it. But there's a number of very fine craft beer places in Maine and New Hampshire, both breweries and resellers, and Allagash happens to be one of my favorites.
The state of Maine is supposed to have close to 100 microbreweries by the end of next year or 2016. I think they're over 50 right now. Their distribution system is a lot better than what we know out here. So if you go to any IGA, Hannaford, Irvin, as they call it down there, any other store that will sell beer, that you will see a ridiculous array. So Maine is definitely moving ahead, and of course Portland, the city of Portland, is definitely the the town that has everything going on here.
Well, when you have that many hipsters concentrated in one location, something's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. Let's move on to the next topic here, but before we do that, let's say a quick little shout out to some of our friends here, or supporters. North Brewing up in Halifax, and yes, my video for some reason is not working tonight. I can see it in the control panel, but it's not just streaming out tonight. So if you're listening to the podcast, you're not missing anything. All the audio is going through. North Brewing, their Belgian Milk Stout is out today in growlers. I believe it's 6% ABV. They have moved to the next stage in their evolution, which is to offer bottles of this milk stout. Bishop's will have their entire supply of bottles next week. So check that out. I plan to go tomorrow or on the weekend to get some of this milk stout, and also their Nuppeppo Saison. This was a collaboration brew with Stillwell Beer Bar. This is a Belgian Saison with the Tokyo steak spice. that you find at Stillwell Beer Bar. I tried it over the weekend. Lori, I can't remember if you tried it. Did you try that one?
I didn't try it at the event on Sunday, but I happened to pop by Stillwell, I think it was Tuesday night, and I had the Nuppeppo there, and I liked it. Jesus, I love those Tokyo fries at Bar Stillwell. But I had an opportunity to try it on Tuesday, and I like that brew, that Saison as well, I must say.
Yeah. So to try to describe it, it's a Belgian blonde with a Montreal steak spice.
Yeah.
But a little bit better. Like it's interesting. It's interesting.
It was definitely a different taste. I had the flight of a couple of beers, and yes, it was a bit, I would say a bit peppery, but not overt.
Yeah. So very interesting. So North Brewing has a couple of very interesting brews on tap for you. Garrison Brewing, as I mentioned there, they got their winter warmer out on 6-pack, and that's what I'm drinking tonight. And definitely you have to warm this beer up. You cannot drink this winter warmer cold from the fridge. You gotta let it get lukewarm to really enjoy the flavors from it. And I've been enjoying a few bottles of this tonight, and it's good.
How's it compared to last year's?
There's a little less of, I believe, the clove, but the demerara sugar, which is the main ingredient of the winter warmer, it's good. The people at Garrison that told me that this was better than last year's. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with them, but it's pretty solid.
Yes, they ran it.
I have a bottle cellared from last year, so I'll have to do a comparison.
Yeah, no, it's good.
I've saved one too, Keith.
It is available in 6-pack in Nova Scotia and the big 650 mils in New Brunswick for this year. Hell Bay, their Chocolat, 6% wheat ale, as Michelle McCann mentioned earlier on Twitter. It's available at the brewery and at select restaurants. Hopefully Nook and Cranny will have that. But one of the interesting things with Hell Bay, they do have way more tap accounts than we give them credit. So they are in more places than we think. And finally, Sea Level Brewing up in the Annapolis Valley. They have their porter out, probably one of the best porters produced right now in Nova Scotia.
Port of Storm, it's fantastic.
It's a very, very good porter. All right, let's move on to the next topic here, which is, this is good for our American friends who are watching right now, and we do have a number of them watching. Baskin-Robbins has a turkey-shaped ice cream cake.
I cannot tell you how much that picture revolts me.
It is the glaze,
But
I like turkey, I like ice cream, I like cake, but never the twain shall meet, or the triple shall meet.
hey, if you're making an ice cream cake, why don't you have fun with it? Make it into an armadillo or something. Hey.
It literally looks like Kim Kardashian's ass in that photo. That level of glazing, it's hypnotic almost. I don't know what to make of it.
Hey, it's caramel praline topping finished with sugar cone legs and paper leg frills.
And topped off with a sense of depression once you complete it.
Now you can customize the ice cream flavor inside of that. That's
Nope.
crazy.
Can I say that again? Nope.
That is. Now this is the trend of, we talked about this last time about Mountain Dew, Doritos, and all that stuff. Jelly Belly has a set of seasonal Thanksgiving-inspired jelly beans that include pumpkin pie, cranberry sauce, hot chocolate, and eggnog, and candy cane. And Baskin-Robbins, they're going to continue with the fudge fall harvest roll and turtle pie made with pralines and cream ice cream.
What I want to know is, just like a good McDonald's ad, the end result never looks like the ad. So what distorted Cthulhian items are people bringing home? Because that's not what they're getting. They're getting some sort of weird football with 2 twigs sticking out of it and calling it a turkey. It's not.
You know the legs will start to melt and start to bend down and touch the bottom. And
Yeah.
I feel that people are making life more complicated than it needs.
And this is why
Have the turkey. Have the stuffing.
This is why the Middle East does not like us.
Yes. Because we fuck with things until it becomes unrecognizable.
How much is it? Does it say? I didn't see that part.
Oh, I don't even want to know.
But
Hey,
you know you're going to be
go ahead,
disappointed with it.
Go ahead, Keith.
I just said, doesn't matter how much it costs. You bring that home, it's going to be a real disappointment. Like, why the hell did I buy this?
Might as well just buy a bag of Doritos and some Mountain Dew. You know what you're gonna get.
I've got Friday and I can't feel my upper lip, so I'm good.
Yeah. All right, let's do.
It's still very hypnotic. I'm just gonna say this now. I can't get my eyes off of it.
Yeah.
You want one? That's what they
No,
want.
I don't.
Fall for it.
It's like a car crash. It's like you turn your head and it still kind of follows you.
You're gonna be at Dairy Queen tomorrow, Dan, and go.
Oh no!
Why can't you make one in the shape of a turkey for me? Come on, Dairy Queen.
Why can't I get a Kim Kardashian ice cream cone? What's going on?
Let's do a quick check on comments, and you can comment on Twitter, YouTube, Google Plus at votingchores.com. Do have a few comments here before we get to the boys here. Tammy, Windswept Coast, says eggnog, pumpkin pie, sweet baby Jesus, sign me up. He says.
She likes pumpkin spice everything too. I just
that pumpkin spice latte.
Oh, just put it in there, right there. Oh, pumpkin spice. Oh my goodness. That's like white man's crack. It's unbelievable. Just put it right in.
Keith, do we have anything new on the voting chores, or we're all?
No. It's a wasteland over there right now.
It's too bad.
Come on.
All the action's on YouTube. Carrie, what do we have on YouTube?
2 comments. Oh wait, no, 3. All from Mustang.
Okay.
It says, I think people in Nova Scotia pay the highest taxes in Canada. Well, you are correct. They don't need to pay any more taxes, and he's having trouble following his hangout as the signal out here on the rig is terrible tonight, and the audio and video is freezing in his computer.
Yeah, that's too bad. Hopefully you get the podcast version.
He also says the glasses look good, and I think they would sell well, and the style of glass that Keith has tonight is nice.
All right, show the glass, Keith. So that is your typical tulip style, and it has the voting chores that has the bear on the front, and it has a little "not safe for work" saying on the back. And Keith won't rotate it because it's a family-friendly show. We're after.
I've sworn a number of times. The horse has left the barn when it comes to swearing.
By the way, Jim.
And there you go, Jocelyn, if he's watching. There you go.
So, Jim, I'm reading the comments on Instagram, and I believe @RedHerring says that all the people on the show should be getting one of these glasses for free. Thank you, Red Herring. I totally agree with you. I'm glad you brought up this very important topic.
Hey, Keith got to etch them by hand. I'm not saying nothing. You're the one who's going to have to etch them. So.
It's Red Herring. Red Herring's always right. Very good track record.
Well, anyway, make sure, everybody, if you take a look at the glass, if you'd like to get your hands on one of them, put down the comments somewhere. We're going to collect them and then figure out what we're going to do with that. But Keith has been perfecting the hand etching on the glass there. So we do appreciate him taking the time for that. All right, let's move on to the next topic here. We're getting it close. Well, we're getting into overtime, but let's clear off what we had on the show topics here. Jose Canseco wants you to buy his severed finger.
For V-chip's
This story is
sake.
great. This is great. This story is so great.
We get to pick the finger?
Oh my God! No, there's only one
Because
finger.
I know which one I'd pick if it's him. So I can put it back to him.
So Jose Canseco was cleaning his guns, and it went off, and his finger got detached, got reattached. I don't know if it was the doctor from The Simpsons or whatever.
The staple gun.
So he started playing poker a few days later. It's
All in.
starting to stink. It fell off. Now he wants to put it on eBay for people to buy.
But you can't sell body parts on eBay.
Does this man have his own TLC show at this point? Because clearly he's like the cake boss of missing fingers.
Wow.
I mean, come on.
This is the man who talked about guns years ago. He got convicted, I think, of having a loaded gun, but he said guns weren't dangerous. And he shot his finger off.
Actually, it's true. Guns aren't dangerous. Jose Canseco is dangerous.
With a .45 caliber Remington with chrome mirror finish.
Yeah, he said he wants to sell
And
the
crystal
finger.
and gold platings on the clips.
He wants to sell the finger and the gun on eBay, but both of those things you wouldn't be allowed to sell.
That's insane. Like, you know what? I don't want your stinky ass finger in a freaking. What he was gonna do? Put those little dry packs that you find in electronics to keep it dry.
You put it in a pickle jar like those toes up north that you have.
Ah, man.
Yeah, sour toe up in Yellowknife, Whitehorse. Yeah.
A bit like Futurama, like they're all like a whole bunch of jars of fingers.
No. You know what? You know what I would be interested in? I would be interested in the UK poo bust more than Jose Canseco's finger.
Correct.
In the UK, in the biomethane gas, in southwest England, there is a city bus from Bath to Bristol. They're taking up. The bus is run by human poo. A tank of gas, which is the equivalent of annual waste of 5 people. It goes 300 kilometers, and it smells just like a bus. The exhaust.
Renewable resource. I'm all for it.
Now I don't know if
Exactly.
I don't know if the people who take the bus can actually contribute to the fuel.
I just love the picture that they have for it, where the guy's like really happy to be on there, because he just had like a big.
What happens when they
real
run out of
extreme.
fuel? So the big,
Yeah.
big sign come up and go, no shit.
Well, then it's like, all right, everybody, start the line up in the back, start filling it up.
Is there like a whole lot of grunting on this bus?
Potentially, they'd never have to stop to refuel. Just put a loo in the back, and away you go.
But you know what? I am surprised that they've gone this way, because I've seen countries like Burma, Thailand with the methane fuel. You know what I mean? They got the big plastic gases bags from the pig shit from their pig farm, and they're using it to cook their woks or whatever, and they have all these pipes and plastics, because the gas, because their pile of poo is behind here, and it's all raising up, and they got these big plastic tarps that capture the methane, and somehow they can just tube it through and cook on their woks and stuff. How they were able to get a bus to power this, and it doesn't smell. Because you hear about people using French fry grease to run their Jeep or whatever, and it smells like French fries.
Yeah, even if you mix it with a little bit of diesel, it'll still smell like gross old French fry fat.
This makes me weep for humanity. I'm not going to lie. Because who the hell has gone with some type of biology chemistry degree and have written their thesis on converting shit to fuel? This is what I don't understand.
Welcome to the Thunderdome.
Yeah, Thunderdome. Yes. Yes.
And the other thing is, like, if you want to try to promote, better sources of energy and promote ridership for buses, do they have to use the term "poo bus"? It's like when it comes to like the shit machine or something like that. I mean, if you're gonna be that crass about it, it's like the human centipede of buses.
I think once people get used to the idea, it won't be a big deal, really.
I would love the fact that if they would have the stall that people can contribute to the fuel of the bus. So, like, this is my morning bus to get to work. I will make sure that I do my number 2 in the bus so that it can get to me to work on time. That kind of stuff.
Here's my question. If you contribute to the fuel, do you get a discount on bus passes?
Oh, there you go.
Are overweight people going to get preferential seating?
All right, let's do a quick check on comments, and there's a whole bunch of comments on Twitter. I'm gonna read them off. A whole bunch of conversations going on here, and then Carrie can do it. Let's see here. Tammy says, rather don't be a hater. If there's a new Spice Girls, I'll be a pumpkin spice. And then Lori changed the tagline, I ain't no pumpkin spice. And Michelle McCann says TMZ calls bullshit, apparently, on that. And hilarity ensues. So all the girls are laughing at Lori's tagline and whatever inside scoop is there, because I haven't had a chance to click on everything. But
inside scoop, is that another tagline for the poo bus?
Oh,
I'm sorry.
no.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
I'm
No.
sorry.
No.
The inside scoop.
No.
The inside scoop. Carrie, do we got any other comments on the YouTube channel?
One from Mustang, or actually 2. One from Mustang, one from Slow Rover. Someone swallowed that toe up north, so maybe they can buy this as a replacement. I saw that toe. I saw that toe in 1984 when I was in Dawson City. I saw that sour toe. Mustang says, "Hey gang, he's going to catch the show on podcast. He's had such a bad connection tonight, and can't keep up. Great show, and take care." As far as the poo bus goes and the methane gas, if you think about old coal reserves and methane, the gas that used to come out used to explode and everything else, totally viable option for fuel, no matter where it comes from. The methane is from the rotting carbon stuff, so it's about the same stuff. So.
Woohoo! Chris won.
Yeah. Michelle says here the bullshit was on Conseco. The story there. Oh, there's Lori. Not Lori, Krista. Krista's back from her night out.
She was out seeing Kenny.
Kenny. She is one of the few. She is one of the few people in 2014 that has listened live. Islands in the Stream by the 2 singers separate.
Exactly.
Separately. Dolly Parton 2 months ago and Kenny Rogers tonight. Did he sing that song, Krista?
He did, and I have a lot of opinions about the way he chose to do it because he did not sing it as a duet. He sang it as a solo.
Alright, he sang it as a solo. Do you have your headphones there? We'll have to put them put them on there.
My question is he as tired as a SNL skit?
But his face looks great, though. He looks so his face is so smooth.
Natural.
Well, when you're powered by the poo bus, I mean anyone can look good. But he is getting up there in age, and I'm just wondering how well is he like Wayne Newton level, sort of like he will never die, or I mean.
Well, he was in pretty rough shape. He just had a knee replacement that does not appear to be taking long. So he kind of crawled around the stage. It was.
Well, here, let me just check here how old is Kenny Rogers. And whoever gave me the thumbs down on the Hangouts, you're a bad person.
Nerve.
I know. I usually get the thumbs down a day after, but not live. Yeesh.
That would be from me joining my first
No.
one. So.
Okay, that's it. You're out. No more. Kenny Rogers is supposed to be. Kenny Rogers is supposed to be 76 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, it got pretty weird because it took him a few minutes to shuffle out to the stage, and when he got out there, he was kind of looking around for something to balance on, and it was awkward. I mean, it was really awkward because there were a lot of people there that were just kind of wondering if things were going to go south for Kenny during the show, and it looked dark.
Now, my memories of Kenny, there is a double 33 album. I think it was The Gambler. That's my one memory of Kenny Rogers. The other memory of Kenny Rogers is the movie Six Pack.
I think Lori smells burnt toast.
Lori,
She's having a stroke of some sort.
Are you okay, Lori? Do you need some help?
I'm just visualizing Kenny Rogers kind of shuffling out and like praying to God that he's got like a mic stand to lean against, and everybody's just kind of standing there going, "Is 911? All I have to do is press send because the man is going down." Right?
And right about that time, somebody throws their underwear with pockets at him. Just.
I think there's maybe like an army of Kenny Rogers doppelgangers that they can just trail out as required. So don't worry. There's enough for the Wax Museum ones.
Oh God.
Just move the mouse.
Well, we weren't so close that we could see that, but it was split into two sections. So the first part he sings his country hits, and he does a really nice version of The Gambler, and it's showing this movie in the background, and that was all very nice. And then they take like a 25-minute break, and then this other person comes out, and she sings like Jesus Christmas songs for about 15 minutes, and there's like no Kenny Rogers appearing. And so I was there with a friend of mine, and we were like, what happened over the intermittent? Like, did like something happen to Kenny? And then all these paramedics take off across the floor of the Metro Center and up the stairs. And this woman's on stage like la 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 la, like singing Christmas songs. And Kenny still has not appeared. And this second part of the concert's been going on for about 15 minutes, and it was touch and go. He
Kenny
showed up.
Rogers needs to be recharged. Kenny Rogers needs back in the cryogenic chamber. Then he can come back out again.
I think that would be the best for everybody.
Yeah. Kenny gets what Kenny wants.
Freaking Kenny. But you know what? I remember his movie Aces High. 1982, Six Pack. Nobody remembers that one? Come on. Harry.
Nope.
Sorry.
No.
Nope.
Six Pack.
I have a hard time thinking of Kenny Rogers and Six Pack together because I can't see him being like the Abs of Steel.
Was it like a six-pack, like...
No. Six Pack with six kids.
Yeah.
Diane Lane and Anthony Michael Hall and Barry Corbin. Yeah. Popular in the VHS circles.
I was not familiar with that
No?
particular one.
Okay, all right, let's do the quick, we'll do the Wayback Machine because we're in overtime mode. Wayback Machine is 1998. This is where we take a look at what the hell happened in 1998. I got the Canada page here somewhere. And you can all chime in with different things from 1998, but Alan Eagleton pled guilty to fraud in 1998. Let's see, we had the ice storm in 1998 in Ontario, Quebec, New Brunswick,
And in the Annapolis Valley, because I lived in Wolfville at the time, and I was under ice.
All right, you were there too. the Supreme Court ruled on the legality of Quebec separatism in 1998. Also, let's see what else. Quebec and Newfoundland resolved the long-standing feud or dispute with Churchill Falls, which still goes on.
Yeah, I was like, but did they though?
Yeah,
They really didn't. No.
They,
No.
I don't feel like they're there yet.
not
No.
quite. In 1998, the floods in the Saguenay Lake Saison forced 2,000 people from their homes. Do you remember that house that the flood waters were going around, and you just had this house and the foundation and just a little sliver of land just in the middle? You guys remember that?
I do remember the image of it, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
I
remember.
remember that one.
There we go. It's almost a classic image. The house is still there. It's now a historic site up in the Saguenay. What else we got here? Hey, one person is killed in an explosion at a Irving oil refinery.
Where, in St. John?
St. John. The Swiss Air Flight 111 off Peggy's Cove crashed.
That's the one. That's the one I was looking for. Yeah.
That is a big, big event in Nova Scotia search and rescue history, crisis management history, emergency response.
Yeah.
Anybody who volunteers with any of those groups, the Swiss Air 111 flight is always mentioned. Let's see here. The National Post publishes its first issue in 1998. National Post.
I remember when National Post used to do delivery in Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good times. Hey, Titanic was in 1998.
That's hours of my life I'll never get back.
Shania Twain's Coming Over was the big album at the time.
Which one was that? Was that the one where she
Any
wears
of
the midriff tops? And
That's
That
the
was
one.
most of them. That was most of them.
Yeah, that was one of them where I think she was at the Super Bowl and she climbed up that fire, like the fire truck ladder, whatever.
oh my lord, I
I
don't
think
remember
that
that.
was in. I don't know. Canada's Sesame Street switches to showing exclusively Canadian content, renaming itself Sesame Park, as it no longer uses any American-made segments from Sesame Street. Now, I was not aware of that.
I recall there was a bit of think piecing being written at the time because it was one of the arguments being advanced was that Sesame Street was a little too urban for Canada. So they went with this very genteel, bucolic, multicultural paradise.
I was trying to think of
Yeah.
something more Canadian-esque, like, Sesame Cul-de-sac or something like that.
Yeah.
Outrageous. Outrageous. Thank God for Netflix, Sesame Street Classics. I'm showing my little girl Sesame Street the way it's supposed to be.
That's right.
With a bunch of 1970s New York, Brooklyn lifestyle. That's what I want her to know.
I feel like that's really why I like Brooklyn as much as I do now.
Yeah. Well,
Because I'm a 40-year-old hipster.
All jokes aside, 1970s New York, with Sesame Street, Electric Company, all these other shows.
Mhm.
I don't know about you, but when I was watching these shows when I was a kid back in the day, it was blowing my mind. Actually, watching what was going on in New York back in the day.
Yeah.
Nagano Olympics. The Nagano Olympics was 1998.
But did anybody watch those? Because weren't they on at the complete opposite time here?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't remember nothing from the Olympics.
I remember watching some of the hockey for that, but that was roughly about it.
Yeah. That wasn't the one with Tanya Harding and the other one there, was it? The
Nancy Kerrigan?
No, I don't think it was that
No,
one. I
that
think it was earlier.
Was that 94?
Something like that.
Lillehammer?
I don't know.
I can't remember. Some of the big movies in 1998: Saving Private Ryan, The Truman Show, Bug's Life,
Lethal Weapon 4.
Big Lebowski,
The Big Lebowski?
Something About Mary.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Here we go: Lock, Stock, and Two
Two
Smoking
Smoking
Barrels.
Barrels.
A Simple Plan. This is the Sam Raimi movie with Billy Bob and
Oh, yeah.
what's his name?
Bill Paxton, was it?
Yeah, kind of the independent movie that.
Yeah.
The Mark of Zorro. The first Blade movie with Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes.
Or you have tax problems.
Lethal Weapon 4.
Four.
Rush Hour.
Oh.
1998 was a real garbage year for movies.
It's just a mix. Like, I'm skipping through a whole bunch of thumbnails here. I Still Know What You Did Last Summer was 1998. Dr. Dolittle. For the guys, Wild Things. With Neve Campbell and
Denise Richards and Matt Dillon.
Yeah, that one.
Matt Dillon was in that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yup.
You can find most of that on the internet for free. You don't have to make a movie about it.
Now, of course, we forget the classic movie that was out that year, Adam Sandler's The Waterboy.
Oh, God.
That was, I guess, the biggest movie of the year.
That's some high quality H2O.
H2O, yeah.
His career really didn't ever reach that height again, did it? Because the last few that he's done has been the utter levels of shit. If his movies could fuel all the poo.
But you know what?
What the Jack and Jill bus?
Make like $100 million each.
Jesus.
That's the thing. He's filthy rich.
Oh yeah, filthy.
He can make all the honkers he
Dirty.
wants. Like,
Yeah.
Dirty. Shitty almost. Shitty like a bus powered by poo.
So sorry I missed that part of the conversation.
Yeah,
I was really looking forward to talking about that.
I know.
Well, let's do.
Didn't Viagra? Wasn't Viagra approved in 1998
I was
by
about
the
to say
FDA?
that. Yes, it was.
Really?
Yay!
1998?
And 1998, as we said before, was the year of the Google.
Wow.
Started.
Men, we salute you.
Donors and marketing for Pfizer.
In the TV land, we had TV was a lot better than movies in 1998. We had Dawson's Creek, that 70s show, premiering that year. Kings of Queens, Will and Grace, Charmed.
oh, I'm getting nostalgic over here.
Felicity.
Don't cut your hair!
The Powerpuff Girls debuted in 1998.
What's that?
I don't know.
The Powerpuff Girls?
Powerpuff Girls?
Oh my God. Go on Netflix, bring up the Powerpuff Girls.
Okay.
And eat some mushrooms.
Yeah.
Mushrooms.
Bill Cosby's Kids Say the Darndest Things also debuted in 1998.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys cover Bill Cosby earlier?
No, we didn't.
that was not a.
No comment.
Yeah.
It puts pudding pops in a whole different light now.
Pudding Pops, ruined forever.
Yeah.
Hey, Pam Anderson's VIP debuted in 1998.
Oh, I hope she's still making money off of that because things are rough for her.
Pretty rough. Let's check the comments, boys and girls.
Actually, I was going to add one more nerd thing that happened for 98.
Yeah.
The iMac was introduced in 98.
Yeah.
Was that the big one that came in all the different colors?
Yeah,
or the little one that looked like a purse?
Yeah, the rainbow one. Yeah.
But it looked. Was it a purse or was it the big box?
No, it's like the all-in-one like TV. It had like the blue color and
Okay, yeah.
going that.
Yeah, the iMac. Yeah, the iMac.
Yeah.
John on I think on my Google Plus says here the first Grand Theft Auto was it also
Really? That's true. Yeah. Totally different game. It's totally different from what it is now. It was a top-down sort of you driving your car around a map and that. It's completely different.
Crazy. Let's do a quick check on comments here, and just a reminder, everybody who are watching, you can check the replay once we're done. We have the audio-only podcast version of this over the weekend. And thanks for everybody who are checking out the podcast. The numbers are going up and up and up and up every week, so appreciate that. And my video is still not showing up, but that's okay. You can still hear me. That's the important part. Any comments? Carrie, got anything on the YouTube page?
2 comments or 3 comments from John Begnell that were already mentioned in the Wayback machine. About Swiss Air, Google, and Grand Theft Auto. That's about it.
No, okay. And let me just check the Twitter. And the reason why we say YouTube and Google Plus, sometimes one or the other doesn't show up. So that's why I say stuff here. Tammy says on Twitter that her dad was involved in the Swiss Air recovery operation as part of the search and rescue ham radio operator stuff. And that's about it on that. And Slow Rover says if you want to laugh, listen to Norm Macdonald and Adam Carolla dissect a Kenny Rogers song.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to do the.
That sounds awesome.
You're gonna have to do the iTunes search on that.
Yeah, Norm Macdonald's the man. He is a man.
Hey, since we're in overtime and I still got beer in my glass, let's do the overtime thing, which is the podcast review. So we've been developing this over the next little while. So basically, we all listen to podcasts. Which podcasts have you been listening to this week that blew your mind? So I know Krista and Lori, they have a specific podcast that they listen to. Let's start with them. What have you been listening to this week?
Cereal.
All cereal.
All cereal.
All right, so Serial. So for anybody who hasn't listened, serialpodcast.org is the website. They're up to episode 9, I believe. They recover a murder trial that happened, and this one here, this is what I thought would happen. There's enough episodes that went through, and now people who either heard the podcast through news or whatever, they're contacting the host. And now the host is updating information and doing some updates there. So this week it was about the phone at Best Buy.
Right?
Did that not blow your mind?
I loved every minute of that. Like that, I wanted a whole episode about Laura, who knew the inside and out of that Best Buy.
Because she stole from it. I thought that was the awesome part.
That was amazing. That's what gives her information credibility. She would have known that building. She would have known every inch of that building that she would have needed to lift what sounds like a fairly decent amount of stuff out of there.
Yeah.
So for anybody who hasn't listened to the Serial podcast, you have to subscribe to it right now on your iPhone, on your iTunes, on your Downcast, your Stitcher, whatever. Binge listen the whole goddamn thing.
Do it this weekend.
Yeah, do this weekend to get up to date. Basically, because this is true, this has happened.
Yeah.
So the police have basically said that, or the report is that the kid Anand killed his ex-girlfriend in the parking lot of a Best Buy at 2:30 in the afternoon in Cleveland. And
Baltimore.
Oh, sorry, Baltimore.
And somehow no one else saw it.
Nobody else saw it. the big thing was that there was, people talk about a payphone. There was never ever a payphone on the site of the Best Buy that they said this happened. So this started. You can go on Reddit. There's a serial group there, conspiracy theories and all that stuff. It is well worth your time. If you are the type of person that got nothing going on Saturday morning, you're looking for something to do, you get up early, you have this, you get up early, whatever, you need something to listen to, you're going for a walk with the dog, you need something to listen, Serial Podcast.
And they're doing a funding drive for the next season, which is, so if you like it, contribute, even a little amount. And I think this week they're really starting to set the stage for the end of it, because they're starting to tie up loose ends in the story. And I've been, I read about it and I listen to it, and I do think that the story and what happened to Heyman Lee and Adnan Syed and all the other people that have been involved is really one of the stories. But the thing that really jumps out to me is about the American justice system, and I think a lot of it would be true in the Canadian justice system, just how little you really need to piece together to build a compelling narrative that puts someone away. I mean, I'm still not 100% decided on what I think of all this information, but I think it's really more about human nature. You see all of these witnesses, they keep on digging up more and more people who have recollections of this time, and there are some very wild inconsistencies from people that were in allegedly the same room on the same day, so it really makes you wonder when you hear anything that is evidence or factual based on recollection, whether it's credible or not.
I totally agree. Lori?
Absolutely. And, it really is a podcast that for me, I've had to listen to repeatedly, because there are details within each episode that if you aren't completely concentrating on, and even if you are, you really need to listen to it a couple of times in order to get all the details. And usually I have an attention span of a gnat, but this thing has really captured my attention consistently, and I just can't wait for Thursday until the next one comes out.
And I've noticed that they don't upload the episode until Thursday, like after 6 a.m. Atlantic time, because I was up at 5:30 and I'm refreshing my feed, and it's like, where the hell is it? And then I get to work, oh, there it is, and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's about 7 a.m. our time, about 7 a.m. Atlantic.
All right, so for Carrie, Keith, and Dan, feel kind of left out because they haven't been listening to Serial. Is there a podcast that you guys have been listening to this week that got your attention?
I won't say it's a new one for myself, but one that I've been listening to fairly religiously, and I just want to promote it because I love it to death. It's called Good Job Brain, and it's a trivia one where they have four people, the same four people every week, and then they pick a random topic that they want to just kind of ask questions about and just expand topics on, and it's very well done. The topic, it's not a stodgy trivia podcast. It's very humorous. They'll go right into the poop talk constantly. Like that's how I learned about. I'm forgetting what the material is called now, but it's if you ever eat something that's called natural flavoring, it's actually beaver anal juice. And I learned that from this podcast. So thank you. Good job, Ray. Yeah, so if you ever see a product and the last ingredient there says natural flavoring, it's actually beaver anal juice.
I thought at one point it was products with was a certain product like vanilla or something. I don't know.
It's used to also the smell the sense of vanilla. It's also to make raspberries pop.
Yeah.
That's another use for it. I'm totally blanking. It starts with a C.
Yeah.
The name of it, but it's extracted from the ass of a beaver.
Yeah.
Like castor
your mouth.
something?
To your mouth. To your mouth from the beaver's ass.
That is horrifying.
The less you know, the better sometimes, I would say.
So the question is bearing is like, who was the drunk asshole that decided to lick a beaver and realized, my God, these raspberries taste so much better now?
Castoreum.
Castorium.
Castoreum, thank you. Yeah. And just to jump in there, sorry, guys, there's a couple of episodes on Radiolab, and Jim and I talked about the Patient Zero episode, which was wonderful.
Yes.
It was just, it blows my mind. And if anybody follows, the origin of HIV, that is definitely worth a listen, because it actually breaks apart every assumption that you've made about the origin of HIV just right to pieces. And so because of that, I started listening to a couple other podcasts from Radiolab, and one was Black Box and the other one was Are You Sure? And they're not humorous or anything of that nature, but very interesting listening. So if anybody's looking for a couple of podcasts, Are You Sure, Black Box, and Patient Zero from Radiolab are very good.
All right, Keith, Carrie, do you guys got any podcasts?
Yeah, I listen to a lot of podcasts, but it just depends on my mood. Sometimes I'll go for something cerebral, and sometimes I don't. And one that definitely isn't cerebral is Matt and Mattingly's Ice Cream Social. It's pretty funny show. It's a couple of guys. I think they do Geek Shock and a couple of Penn's Sunday School. They do their own podcast. Anyway, it's just funny. And if you want something that's a little off the wall, listen to that. Another one I've been getting into quite a bit is, well, you listen to that too, Jim, Futility Closet. You listen to that one?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I've been listening to that a lot lately as well.
That's a great podcast. They got some interesting topics on that one.
Does anybody listen to Canada Land?
Yes, I love Canada Land.
I just started it.
Yep, I really like that one.
No, that's a good one too. Carrie, do you got any podcasts that you listen to, or?
No.
No. All right. You got to pick up some podcasts, buddy. There's a lot of content floating around there.
Wait, is that the name of the podcast? Is it called No? Tell us more about this.
Yeah.
I'll have to start one then, called No.
No.
It's like the podcast for parents. No.
It's very negative.
Yeah, very negative. It's 3 seconds long. It is no.
But Dad, everyone else is doing no.
My podcast, and unfortunately my video is still not coming up there. I thought it would be coming up once the missus stopped watching Netflix, but my podcast of the week is the Thomas Jefferson Hour. I mentioned this before.
Yeah.
This is I am so hooked on this podcast. I don't know why, but it is. There are interpreters. There are interpreters across the United States, and probably some in Canada too, that interpret past historical figures, such as Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, Teddy Roosevelt, etc., etc. This guy, he does Andrew Jackson, and he does a 1 hour Jefferson hour on a topic, and this topic was all things food. So he does the first half hour talking about food during Thomas Jefferson's time and how he would deal with food, and then there would be a general conversation in contemporary time. But it's very interesting to listen to this dude who pretends to be Thomas Jefferson, who obviously read all of his journals and diaries, try to describe how he dealt with food in the late 1700s, early 1800s, coming back from France, being the ambassador for the United States, learning some of the French cuisine, the dumb waiter, props, bringing it to Monticello, to show these people from Missouri and northern states good food, good French wine, not talk about politics, just to talk to the age of enlightenment, which was all about Thomas Jefferson. Very, very interesting podcast, which may have put a bunch of people to sleep, but I thought it's just spellbinding. I love it. I love it. All right. Let's see here. I do get no. That's about it here in terms of the comments. Carrie, do a last bit of a last check on comments, and then we'll just cap it out for the night. We're all good.
Refreshing.
All right, refreshing. Refresh. I saw John. He was busy updating. I do have a Google Plus notification here.
Just one from John Bigdell says Kimberly McAndrew has been missing since August 12, 1989. Sadly, this case remains cold. And that's about it.
And no, it's on Wikipedia. Yeah, there've been a few stories here. Kimberly McAndrew and there was a Dorothy also this week. So in terms of cold cases, you can do a search on that. All right, with that, we'll just cap it out for tonight. Big overtime edition for tonight. I'd like to thank everybody who's been watching up until this point. I apologize for not having my video on. I don't know what's going on. I can see everybody here and I can see my video going through, but it is not getting through on the YouTube side of things, but hopefully we can get that going next week. I'd like to thank all my panelists. Great stuff. Also, first-time panelist, Dan, you did great, buddy.
Thank you.
It's good stuff here.
The check's in the mail, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, wait till you see the newbie bonus. Lori and I are still spending ours.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
How do you think she afforded to go see Kenny?
That's right.
Oh, that's Kenny money. Kenny money. Oh,
We're talking Kenny Rogers money. We're talking Kenny Rogers money.
yeah.
She's the gambler.
All right, we do this every Friday, and just a reminder, the replay will start about 10-15 minutes from now, and we have the audio-only podcast version coming up on the weekend. We'll do this again next Friday. Thank you, everybody watching. Thank you, panel. Wave, because I'm not on the video, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.